In this lesson, we are going to discuss interest. Interest can be calculated in two ways in mathematical literacy. The first one is what we call simple interest, and then there is a second one that we call compound interest. Let us start off by discussing simple interest. I'm going to do for you an example. And in this example, we're going to work with Tandi, who invests 1,500 Rand for 3 years at an interest rate of 5.5%. Let us see what is going to be, at the end of the day, the value of Tandi's money if we are going to calculate simple interest. If we are calculating simple interest, we can make use of the formula interest is equal to the principal amount, which is 1,500 Rand, times the rate, that is the interest rate of 5.5%, times the time period in years, which is in this case 3 years. If I am going to calculate then the total interest that Tandi is going to get, it's going to be the principal amount of 1,500 times the interest rate of 5.5%, and remember that percent means divide by 100, times the time period for 3 years. If I go and work this out, let us look on the calculator. 1,500 multiply 5.5%. I see that the total interest that Tandi will receive after 3 years will be 247 Rand 50 cents. Let me just explain to you what does this simple interest in fact mean. If you go and work out in year 1, what was the interest that Tandi received, you will see that if I go back to my formula and I substitute for the time period only 1 year, I get that for that first year, the interest that Tandi gets is 1,500 times 5.5 divide by 100, and for the first year it will be 82 Rand 50 cents. In the case of simple interest, their interest will be in year 1, 82 Rand 50 cents. In year 2, it will still be 82 Rand 50 cents. And in year 3, it will still be 82 Rand 50. Which means that the interests are not deserving any interest, if I can say so. The interest remain exactly the same for each of the 3 years. And that is why here, where I multiplied by 3, if I take for year 2, the interest is also 82 Rand 50, and for year 3, the interest is also 82 Rand 50. Over the 3-year period, if I add the 82 Rand 50 plus 82 Rand 50 plus 82 Rand 50, I get the total amount of 247 Rand 50 to be the interest. In other words, the same interest. We earn every year exactly the same amount of interest. If you are now asked in this case, after you calculated the interest, what will the final amount of Tandi's investment be? We can simply take the 1,500 Rand, add the 247 Rand 50 interest, and we will see that the total amount that she will have after the 3 years will be 1,747 rand 50 cents. Let us now look what will happen if our interest was calculated as compound interest. Again, we are having the situation where Tandi is having the 1,500 rand and she wants to invest it for 3 years at an interest rate of 5.5%. Now let us look. If we are having compound interest, we are going to make use of the following way to calculate our interest. The first year, we're going to do just the same as for compound interest. We're going to work out on the first year what was the interest that Tandi has earned. It's 1,500 times 5.5%, and it's only for year 1, so I am only multiplying by 1. I'm still making use of the formula I is equal to P times R times T. If you work that out, we have seen that the value in that case is 82 rand and 50 cents. Now, at the end of year 1, if the interest is going to be worked out in a compounded way, we add the value of 82 rand 50 to 1,500 rand. In other words, at the end of year 1, Tandi will have an amount of 1,582 rand 50. When we start now with year 2, and we want to again start by with our principal amount. Our principal amount is no longer 1,500, but is now 1,582 rand 50 cents. In other words, Tandi is not just going to earn interest on the 1,500 rand, but also on the interest of 82 rand 50. So if I multiply now by 5.5 over 100, for year 2, it's only 1 year. Let us look what will my interest be then for year 2. In year 2, the interest will be 87 rand, and if I round off correctly to 2 decimal numbers, I know that if I am having here a number which is bigger than 5, if I round off, it can make this number the next number. So this will become 87 rand and 4 cents. Can you now see that Tandi in fact did deserve or earn more interest in the second year than she did in year 1. And the reason for this is that she also earned the interest upon the interest that she received in year 1. Finally, if I come now to year 3, our starting amount will now again be determined by the final amount of year 1, plus the interest of year 2. So before I can work out for year 3, I must work out 1,582.50, which was the final amount for year 1, plus the interest for year 2, and that gives me an amount of 1669.54. 1,669 rand 54 cents. What is then the interest that I will be earning on this 1669.54 in year 3? The interest that I will be earning will be 1,669 rand 54 cents times 5.5 over 100 multiplied by 1 again. And if we work that out, let's see. Okay, let us work this now out on the calculator. If I have my 1669.54 times 5.5 0.5 divided by 100 times 1, you will see that the interest that I earn, or that Tandi earn in the 91 rand. And if I round this off correctly to 2 decimal numbers, the 4 cannot make the 2 a 3, so it will simply just be 98 rand and 82 cents. So, at the end of year 3, what will be the total amount be that Tandi is having? The total amount out at the end of year 3 will be 1,669 rand 54 plus 91 rand 82. And if I work that out on the calculator, let's work this out on the calculator. 1669.54. Okay. Okay, let's work this out on the calculator. 1669.54 plus 91 rand and 82 cents, and our final amount is 1,761 rand 36 cents. So in the case of the compound interest, you can now see that I get at the end of the day a higher final amount than I will get if I am doing it with simple interest. And the reason for this is that in the case of compound interest, I am also getting interest on my interest, meaning that every year I get, in fact, a higher final amount. And when I go and work out then the interest for that year, it will be more than the previous year.